Just like fucking hammered. Are we alive?
Are live.
We're live. All right. Episode 3 of Duncan and Friends with Bailey Vries over here.
Hello.
Hello.
Vries.
Vries.
YUNGB.
Casually known as YUNGB or Febreze.
Preferably YUNGB.
Okay.
I think Febreze is a pretty cool name though.
Febreze.
Fresh as fuck.
Yeah, there you go. Walk in and be like, I'm fresh as fuck.
Hilarious. So funny. All right. So, guys, I had a very interesting thing happen the other day. I was at Guitar Center, and this I have taken on the role to where I have several students now who have learning disabilities or autistic or Down syndrome or something like that. The parents just trust me, right? And they're all really, really great kids. And I got this new little boy who has some behavioral issues. I'm not sure what the exact thing, but something like that, right? And his mom was like, and his mom was talking to me and my boss and was like, yeah, I've got 6. I got 6 of the little fuckers, like talking about our kids. And then we're like, oh, ha ha ha, super super strange that you said that. And then she's like, yeah, you might need to drink a glass of wine or 5 before you have my kid. And I was like, whoa. And she's like, I spent a decade with my legs up in the air just getting fucked. And now I just swallowed them.
Jesus.
I know, right? And she's like, now just swallow the motherfuckers. And we're like,
Oh my God.
What? This is a mom. This is this is a mother and her kids inside the room taking guitar lessons. Or ukulele, sorry.
I'm sure that's how she gets rid of her kid. Just
send them up to lessons.
It's better than daycare. At least you're learning something.
And then she asked me to come over to her house and give her private piano lessons. And I told her no.
Oh, this girl, yeah. There's another story with her, too.
And I told her no.
Can you tell that one?
Which one?
The one you told me last night.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. That was it, yeah. Oh, no. Wait, who are you talking about?
The swallow?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that was that story. She's like, she's like, I spent a decade on my back getting fucked and now I just swallow the motherfuckers. I don't let dudes come in me anymore.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay, now that's elaborated.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's a lot.
Isn't that crazy to hear from someone's mom? Like, I'm teaching
How
your
old
son.
is this? Like, I picture
40.
mom 40. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
40.
You can be a mom at 20.
It was crazy. I didn't know what to do. I was like shaking up for the rest of the day. I was like, whoa.
And then you can go teach her private lessons.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
You can tickle your ivories.
Yeah.
And guitar strings.
Basically.
Bass. Yeah.
Bass.
Anyway.
Story of the day.
That was a good way to open up our first female guest.
Yeah.
She can.
Expectations.
Yeah. So.
That's a pretty graphic story.
The name YUNGB, because you are only 19, and you lived a life much more exciting than ours so far, with where you've been and what you've done.
Well, you have to tell a story of how I became YUNGB.
You have to tell the story of how you became young.
Only Mark knows the real story of how YUNGB got the YUNGB name.
All right, Mark,
I don't even know. I just started calling you YUNGB one day.
No, don't you remember it was at Freddie's house? And there was some crazy lady that you were like, yeah, my girlfriend escaped from North Korea, and her name is YUNGB. Yeah, that's how it all came about.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, okay, so...
Let's hear it.
All right, elaborate.
I was outside of this, after party house, and this, really, really fucked up girl was, asked me about my girlfriend. And she was so drunk I wanted to mess with her. And so I was like, she's from North Korea, and she's I don't know, she escaped, and she came to lead a new life and start over. And she's like, what was her name? And I was just like, I don't know, I thought of some random Korean name, but I was like, YUNGB, because I knew she was young. This is a YUNGB. And I didn't think about YUNGB, but then I was like, oh, she's young Bailey. I don't know.
YUNGB.
Yeah, it stuck.
Hashtag stuck.
This girl was like, what? How is she okay? Was she messed up? I'm like, she's still pretty fucked up. I mean, she grew up in Korea, North Korea, and she ate it. She ate it all up. And my coworker was right next to me, Dan, who we had last week.
Did he just play along?
Yeah, he was playing along, and he was cracking up. He was just like, ah, but subtly. But yeah, I was like, YUNGB, she's so happy to be in a free country. Fortunately, she couldn't be here tonight, but now YUNGB.
She gets traumatized by loud parties and noises.
Yeah. She actually flashing lights scares, so she just can't like.
She just can't like
Yeah.
strobe lights like put her in this like epilepsy like little.
Have you guys seen or did you guys hear about that Pokemon episode that went on in Japan like a while ago? And it sent like I think I'm totally butchering the number on this, but like 200 kids to the hospital for seizures because there was all these flashing lights, and like a bunch of these kids had like seizures, and they had to ban the episode. They didn't air it in the U.S.
What?
Yeah, because it sent hundreds of children.
Well, good thing it wasn't me anymore.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine though, like watching like Pokemon and just like
Seizing
I mean, that's the
up
only
the
reason
scene.
I watch it, just to fucking geek out, dude, and seize out. Pokemon, fucking get him. Just kidding.
that's ridiculous.
I do have Pokemon cards though, which could be worth some money.
Yeah, don't they like sell for how much was it?
You got the good ones.
I don't know how good they are. I'm not gonna tell that to people because I might have millions of dollars in my childhood room right now.
Probably not millions.
At least
Maybe
400,000.
thousands. Yeah.
Maybe be a couple like.
Just kidding. I
tens.
have a fucking Pikachu from like 1988,
Was it number
1998. I don't know. Don't
I-
care.
I actually looked into this though, and I was like looking into like how like Pokemon cards are like what the value is, and at the bottom of the card there's like a number of what number it is, like what number of this card was produced. So if you have like any like 001s, they're like the first card of that Pokemon that's ever produced, and they're worth a shit ton of money.
That makes sense. I did have multiple like Charizards, and they all had the same. They had like a number slashed out of a number, right? And they both said like 8 out of 100, so they're both 8. Then like
Well,
another one I saw was 8 too.
That might have been like actual Pokemon number though, because they have like gotta catch them all, gotta catch.
Yeah, but it was like
How to catch 'em?
printed, 8 out of 107. I don't know. Maybe it was just a fake thing they did to make kids feel like they were more rare than they were. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Did you ever play Pokemon? I know you played Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go, but I still didn't get like it was just to play it because everyone else was playing it. That's
Wow,
literally
the truth comes out.
That
the only reason.
Whoa.
do I hear peer pressure? Is that?
It was definite peer pressure for sure.
I fucking hate Pokemon, but
I
it's cool to like Pokemon
Yeah.
right now.
No, Pokemon Go is so cool. I remember playing it when I was living in Holland, and we went to Belgium, and it was just like everyone in this one park was just like focused on Pokemon Go. You'd pass by people, and they'd all be on their phones, be like Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go.
In Denver, it was like
When
this.
did you live in Holland?
So when I was a kid, I went over there for a little bit, and then after I graduated, I kind of skipped out in graduating high school. I went to Holland and lived there for about 4.5 months. So yeah.
Yeah. How was that like transition like between like both of you guys? So you guys both went to Europe, but obviously you've been spending a little bit more time there. What are some of the biggest differences that you've seen between there and here?
People are more straightforward with you, for sure. Like, a lot of people think that, like, from Holland, they say that Americans are really, like, fake and they don't, like, speak their mind. And
Makes
people,
sense.
yeah, and people in Europe are very, like, straightforward and will, like, tell you the honest-to-God truth about, like, whether they like you or not, or, like, I don't know. I just think they're the most honest people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
America is pretty fake.
And there's better food, I think. Way better food there.
I would agree with that. I haven't even been there. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Better a lot of things.
Better life.
People are also very nice.
Yeah, really friendly, beautiful people.
Food, yeah, you mentioned that. That's all I care about though is food.
Is the food.
So, I got there, I ate a real pizza from Italy, and it was the best pizza I've ever had. And I don't know, what else is there? What's the fried dumplings?
Oh, bitterball? Yeah,
Bitterball.
those are so good. It's like gravy encaptured in a frozen or in a like deep fried ball.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, think about like a meatball but filled with gravy.
That sounds
and
fantastic.
fried.
I love biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, see, it's kind of like that, but like all in one.
That shit's fantastic.
Yeah, and then you dip it in mustard. It was probably the best thing ever.
It's like whenever Mark, film me up, bro. Shout out to Wines on Wine Coop for fueling this podcast.
Wine level 2.
Whenever I get biscuits and gravy, I always eat the biscuits way too fast and just start eating the straight.
Like drinking the gravy.
Well, no, like eating it, because like it's like sausage gravy, so it's like kind of like it's kind of like not solid, but like it's in between the two. It's
like a goop.
disgusting. 'cause
Like
you're
a
just eating
literal
straight
goop.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So we just touched on this, but you went to Holland, lived there.
Yes.
Then you went somewhere else cool afterwards for the second time.
Yeah, I went to so I had a YUNGB life crisis, as you would say, and I went to Africa, went to Namibia for like a month and a half, and worked at a conservation. Yeah, have you heard this, Joey? I don't think so. Yeah, I worked at a conservation and worked with like cheetahs and lions and all kinds of crazy African predators. Leopards, and then I did research with a group that was like in the north of Namibia that studied wild dogs and elephants. So we'd go out and track elephants every day.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was a lot of like sitting at home, like working on a spreadsheet in Excel, and then like not even half the time, like less of the time, we maybe saw like one elephant the entire time I was there, and 0 wild dogs. But we would track them, and they'd come by our house like every night, which was crazy. It was cool.
That's so nuts.
Yeah.
I actually did when I was in college. I did a project, and I did it on this company that provided solar power to Namibia. And I was going there, and I was like walking to this place, and I decided to eat an edible before I went there. And this is like a startup, like
Great start.
Yeah, and like it's like an NGO, and I was like, I had no idea. I was like, oh yeah, it's probably just some like people. And this was like a real fucking thing. And I start walking there. And I'm walking from like 19th and Larimer to like 36th and Larimer. So I have all this time to basically just contemplate how much big of a mistake that I made. I was getting higher and higher as I go, and then I'm having a panic attack on the way there. Like, oh fuck, what did I do? What did I do? And I had a group that was there. I didn't know what any of them looked like. So I'm like walking around this place, like trying to find my group, just high as fuck. And I see this girl just sitting on the street, and I walk up and like, hey, are you from my group? Well, she was. I was like, okay, cool. I'm trying to make conversations, being weird as hell. And I get in there, and my mouth dries so much that my tongue starts sticking to the roof of my mouth. So I'm talking like this, and I like can't like communicate. So I'm just sitting there with my eyes like basically shut, just like fuck. But I learned a lot though. I thought it was so cool, but I didn't provide anything, any value to the.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, it's weird too because you living in the bush in Africa for like a month and a half. You like get used to the fact that people just kind of live in like shacks, and you live in a shack too, and it's just like how it works out. And you like come by these people's houses, quote unquote, and they'll have these like huge solar panels, like really expensive solar panels, and they're living like in a like literal shack, or like some people live in you got like wood huts, you got like some people have brick huts, but it's like not a big thing. Some people just like kind of live out under the stars, and then got like this invested money in this like huge solar power system. It's crazy.
Yeah, one thing that company was trying to do was so basically it was like to provide affordable solar power, I think. So it was more of like lights and stuff like that, but they were trying to get one that was powerful enough to power a refrigerator, because they were saying like there's not a lot of like refrigeration or stuff out there. 'Cause it's like nothing out there, right?
Where do you plug it in? You know.
Yeah, you don't.
Like because there's no power grid.
There's no grid. Yeah.
So like they were trying to get it all onto solar power, to like so they can actually like have stuff like.
Yeah, life in Africa is cool because it's simple, and yeah, it's just simple. It's nice.
I feel that. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any crazy animal experiences or anything like that?
Animal experiences? Like, we were having this, like, camp out one night where we'd go and, like, literally just sleep in the bush. And we were, like...
I've slept in the bush before, you know.
Not a bush, but the bush.
The bush.
The bush of Africa. And, I just remember, like, we were, like, cooking and we were, like, making dinner, and it was just, like, I think we were, like, roasting meat or something like that. And we hear this, like, really, really subtle, like, soft, like, crunching, like branches breaking. And it's weird because elephants are, like, one of the most quiet animals ever. And they have, like, the bottom of their feet is really similar to the bottom of humans' feet. So that's why they're so quiet. And I remember hearing this, like, crunching. And we turn on a light, and he's, like, standing over our truck, and we're, like, sleeping in the truck. Like, that's, like, where all of our shit was. And just, like, like, this huge elephant. And they're, like, really aggressive. And so that was probably the craziest thing. And I remember, like, jumping in the truck and, like screeching out of this area,
Jesus
like, with, like, a charging elephant. It was crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, that was about, I don't know, we saw, like, a black mamba. That was pretty cool. Cheetahs were awesome. You could, like, cuddle with cheetahs.
I've seen a black mamba.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, have you?
In the bush.
Was it in a thick bush?
That was dumb. That's crazy, though. Damn. That'd be crazy to see an animal just that big where it's like, this thing could literally step on me and I'm just dead.
Yeah,
there's
just, like,
nothing
squished.
I can do.
Yeah, total goop.
That's
And
crazy.
and if you can't tell by the album cover we're gonna make later by taking one picture of us with the cat, Bailey's a small little person, and like next to an animal of any sort is life threatening. So I can't imagine an elephant.
I'm like equivalent to like from an elephant's like foot to maybe like his not even his kneecap, maybe like mid shin.
crazy.
Yeah, he was huge. He was a big dude.
Damn. Can you guys imagine like being around when the dinosaurs were around? Like seeing things that
crazy.
were that fucking enormous. Actually, I read an article that said they weren't, but I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna go with saying that they were still.
That'd be a crazy like plot twist. Like T-Rexes were like
Tiny.
8 feet.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, and like people were just like 2 feet because of
Crazy.
evolution.
That'd be really sad.
It was like so like the real history of the world is just midgets versus kind of big reptiles.
My whole childhood would be ruined. Like these giant like alligators that are walking on high legs.
I mean, fucking
do love dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park was fake. What the fuck?
What the fuck, guys?
Moon landing, Jurassic Park, same thing.
The Earth's flat. I'm just
Earth's
kidding.
flat.
It's not.
Well,
B.O.B.
Is it?
I don't know. I've seen the edge.
it's flat here right now. It's not perfect level though.
Perfect level. We're getting into Rick and Morty.
Did you guys see the Simpsons couch gag that they did?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
like when they crashed it, it's like you killed the Simpsons.
The Simpsons, Morty.
And they go, it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do the DNA thing with my spit. And they all turn into like Rick, like versions of the Simpsons.
That was so good. I showed you that.
I don't remember that one.
Uh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and their house is all destroyed. And he was like, you guys need to leave because I
then,
gotta
like,
fix the house.
and-
It's a wreck.
Then, like Ned Flanders is like, who did they do? Oh no!
Just get out of here.
So ridiculous. I did see the Pickle Rick though. That was hilarious.
Also one of my favorites, I think.
Super.
I watched that last night.
Pickle Rick.
Again, that and Morty mind blowers. Yeah, that season just concluded, but I think they're gonna have a new Christmas episode. And Aaron depicted it pretty well about how they wanted to showcase how Rick was no longer in control and he's not a god because Jerry moved back in, and that's the angry face was at the end. Is because he's not in control, no matter what.
You just spoiled that for anyone who didn't watch the episode.
Nah, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert:
Is Beth a clone?
is Beth a clone? I don't think so.
The real question.
I saw your tweet. I didn't know what that meant, but I was like, interesting.
Oh, yeah. What?
I never watched Rick and Morty. I've like seen like 3
Oh,
episodes.
it's so good.
It's so
Change.
funny.
You
though.
need to at least watch the one where they have like the little bits.
Interdimensional cable. They go through different TV channels and different realities.
No, I remember because I saw that because that was the one where they where they found all the brain things, right? And they were like
you watched that one
changing.
with me,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
good
so
shit.
fucking funny. Reality's disgusting. Kill me.
I know everything.
Yeah. Perfect level.
I wanted to talk to you about dance.
To me about dance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to
Yes.
Joey about his professional dance life.
Not me.
I've seen those dance moves.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's a huge part of your growing up, and you're very good at it. And you were in professional companies across the world and country.
Yeah.
Explain what it is. What do you do?
Oi.
Why you like it?
Well, thanks to my parents for putting me in ballet when I was like 3 years old. I took like mime class, I took ballet, I took all kinds of weird stuff, and I kind of just stuck with it. And then I did like summer intensives since I was like, since I was like 12, I would go pretty much like around like the nation. So mainly I just kind of hung out in New York because I was asked to come and work with them during the summers. And I worked with like Joffrey Ballet. I studied with ABT. I studied with the Bolshoi Ballet out of Russia when they came to New York. And then when I graduated, I ended up, when I was in Holland, I was working with, so I took classes with Netherlands Dance Theater, which is like one of the most renowned companies in Holland and in Europe. And then I worked with Dutch National Ballet on some like private projects, which their like company dancers were working with. So kind of got a taste of like the professional European dance life, which was pretty cool. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, how intense is that though? I think you're under describing that. I mean,
Wait.
the amount of physical work and like stretching and what you eat and the pressure of like physique.
Oh yeah, I worked with company like a local company in Wyoming, which was the statewide local company, and that was like an everyday. It was my life pretty much when I wasn't in Holland. And I don't know, you put a lot aside for like a dance life because you don't hang out with friends when you're younger. You sacrifice your summers for like 8-week sessions, working with like big companies. You sacrifice all like the best foods in the world.
Yeah, that's the part I couldn't do.
Yeah, spaghetti, like anything carbs.
You do
I don't know.
You do have a 6-pack, so.
Well, oh man, thanks. Draw it on every day.
She's like, you're right. Yes.
Hard work.
So would you say so I'm always curious about this. Would you say that like once you started doing that was something that came easy, or was it a lot of hard work to get to like at a point where it was a
Yeah, so I feel like dance in general is like
about the process.
yeah, so like I feel like in general like dance is kind of like a never-ending art. So it's like something that you're continuously working at because it's like constantly a struggle and constantly like an art of perfection where like you never really reach perfection.
Yeah. It's not an attainable thing.
Yeah, and I feel like with music it's the same thing. Like spending so much time like around you guys, like you work on art and I feel like neither of you ever feel like something's perfect. Like you look back at something like, oh, I wish I could have done that, or I wish I could have done that. It's the same with dance. Like you take class every day and you work on like technique, you work on like pieces, repertoire, and like it's never like even for a show, like it's never really perfect. Like even though it feels like you'll have shows that'll feel like amazing, but at the same time you'll always be like, oh, like I feel like I could have changed that, or like this could have been better.
Oh, totally.
Is there
Yeah.
anything in the world that is like that? I don't think so. Or like maybe like a test, right? You can get 100% on a test.
And then you feel
Or-
like
or
perfection.
like a science experiment. But like in art, I feel like it never reached perfection.
Yeah, because there's no real limit to it.
If Paul McCartney
yeah.
was still alive, he'd be like,
Paul McCartney is still alive.
well, I mean, like still going in music.
He is. He's still.
Really?
Yeah, he's
I
still.
thought he retired.
He's still playing shows.
Well, then that just proves my point that he is alive and he's still going because he's not, even though he's made maybe some perfect shit. People think.
Well, I feel like that's the whole thing about art though, because that's what makes it so fulfilling.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
always changing.
Because it's always this growth process, and you're always trying to get to this level. Like I know with me with guitar, it's like I never give a shit what anyone else is doing. Like if I was like like auditioning against someone else or something like that, like when I had auditions in school or like juries and stuff, I was out to fucking kick ass. Like that's what I wanted to do, and it didn't always happen. Actually, it only happened twice. But I never cared what anyone else was doing. It was always like I want to make myself better, and this is a journey I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And once I started thinking that way, I was able to actually enjoy the process of getting better and actually enjoy the process of trying to perfect my art and getting to not at a high level compared to a lot of people, but for the average a person to get to a pretty high level with it. And the whole technical thing, it's like once you surrender that whole this is never done, and it's just always like today I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to be better. I want to do something better. I want to organize my practice time better. I want to organize my training time better. I want to organize, any of this stuff. I feel that's kind of like life too. Like this whole art of balancing life and having a full life and having a life that you really, really love.
Yeah, like I'm a super strong believer of like art is all about balance. Like, and that's kind of why I walked away. I walked away from dance. Well, not from dance completely, but just from the ballet scene was that, like, I didn't feel that sense of balance in my life. And it was more of, like, a struggle than, like, something that was making me happy or that made me want to continue to pursue, like, more challenges.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, like, I definitely walked away from it, but at the same time, like, it's such a huge part of, like, my life that it's, like, it's so hard to walk away from, like, an art that, like, you've grown up with, so... Definitely, it's still there, but just, like, you have to find your style, you have to find your niche, and then I feel like that's when you start to, like, enjoy really, like, what you do and then, like, challenge yourself in, like, a positive way rather than, like, a negative way, for sure.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, it's so easy to kind of get into that pattern where it's like when I started learning jazz, I hated practicing. I thought I was worthless. Like, I really did. I was like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I can't fucking play this Charlie Parker song. This like really complicated shit. And it was just like, it wasn't a healthy thing. It like spread like anxiety and all this crazy shit in my life. And I was like, what? I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, and I almost quit school. And I almost left. It was crazy.
It's crazy.
I definitely it's when if you don't view it in the right way it creates these negative challenges for you. Then it's just like if it doesn't make you happy, it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, like that's like at the end of the day, that's the punchline in my mind for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Mark, like you talk about like when you like struggle with songs, and then you like we took so much time off. I feel like from you like being able to write music, like when we were both in Amsterdam, I feel like when you came back, you were like, oh, like it's still like such a like passionate part of me. Like I have to like work on it. It's like something that's continuously like a part of you, and like if it's like something that fits right, like you always have to like be working on it. And
even today, I have my Xbox right next to some speakers, and I was working on a song, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like stop doing music. I've been working on the song every day for like 4 days now, all day, every day. And then I was just like sitting down, like I feel like if I'm not working on this song, then I'm like wasting time because it's like this urge. But then it's even like a remix for something I can't even like release fully. It's just like honestly for my own personal enjoyment. I don't even know.
You just gotta get it.
yeah, that's like a positive, like a positive challenge that like you're continuously like drawn to it rather than like, oh fuck, like I have to like work on this or something like that.
Yeah, we're talking about that with teaching. A lot of kids, like this kid I was teaching, didn't even like open his laptop the whole week. People don't pick up their guitars.
And
It's
you
like-
get so and with teaching, you get so emotionally invested in these students too. Like you really want them to be great. Like whenever I teach a student, it's like I want to be able to take them to a professional level. Like I want to make them so they don't need me. Like that's my goal. Whenever I sit down, and like I have like maybe 3 or 4 students who are like really good, but like it's there's some kids who we're just working on the same shit every day, and it's like it's wild.
I have like the kids you teach. I only have 2 of them. Never done it in my life, but it is. I have to like draw this compassion out of me because like, what do I care if they're good or not, right? But at the same time, if they're paying money and they're like interested, then I'm interested. But if they're not, I can't find myself to care at all.
Tough, dude. I lectured. I had this kid come in. He showed up late to his lesson, and the lesson before that, he told me he wanted to be a professional musician. He said he wanted to do it for the rest of his life. And he walked in, and he showed up 15 minutes late. And he didn't understand why I was upset, and I sat him down and I said, "You want to be I was like, you want to be a professional? You want to be at the highest level you can possibly be this, and you're showing up late to my fucking lesson?" I was like, "That's what you're gonna do." I was like, and I told him I was like, I practiced 8 hours a day when I was in school. 8 hours a day. I woke up at 5. I practiced from 5 to 9 every fucking day, and then I would come home and I would practice from 6 to 10 or like 5 to 9 or like something like that. I would play for 8 hours a fucking day. And even now, with all this shit, I still end up getting at least 2 to 3 hours a day in, right? Of like creating and practicing and all that stuff combined. And I was like, dude, you're 15. And he was complaining about my teaching style, about we weren't learning a lot of tunes yet. And I told him, I was like, you can't even read music yet. I was like, you can't read music. And you want to go ahead of this? You want to skip the process? If that's what you want to do, then leave. I don't want you here. I was like, I can take you as far as you want to go, but if you don't want to put in the work to fucking be there, then don't be here.
Yeah, I feel like a lot about art too is about like acceptance to the fact of like you have to spend the time to be like, okay, like I don't know this well enough, or like for me, like for like a piece, like I don't know this section of this ballet well enough. Like I have to admit to myself to be like, I don't know it well enough, and I need to spend like this ever allotted amount of time to work on it. But it's all about like that balance. Like you have to be able to like own up to yourself and say like, I need to practice this in order to do this, this, and this, and having that like dedication, yet having like that sense of like drive and motivation is like so important to like putting it all together to like what you want to do.
Exactly. And like you can't take yourself too seriously either. Like you just can't. Because then it becomes it just becomes this really weird thing where it's like, oh, I gotta be the best, blah, blah, blah. And that's
sometimes you have to be the worst.
And like
yeah.
that, and like that's a little bit too much drive, Like that's like, okay, now I'm not enjoying it. Now I'm fucking, hating every time I sit down and practice. I think I'm a worthless piece of shit. Like that's how I felt, and it was like, once I was like, okay, no, this is fun. And this is fun, and I want to get to high level, and I enjoy this, and I'm going to enjoy the process. I'm going to enjoy the shitty work,
That takes me back to last week when I was prepping for a show. I had my first direct support slot, which is like playing before the artist that's headlining.
And he crushed it.
and I was given this show. I plan my sets out. Like, I just go through and I pick songs I think well together in a DJing sense. And I usually takes about a couple days for like an opening 2-hour slot. But this is an hour and a half like slot where I can go ham and play crazy stuff, play my own music, and I don't have to like warm up a club. And I was given short notice, and I was like, at first I was like, no, I can't do this. I need to like, because I had this whole envision. I wanted an intro song. I wanted all this stuff. And I was like, fuck it, I have 2 days. So I made an entire, like, minute 45 intro song that was, like, one of the best, like, just trap songs I've made ever. Because I had, like, the lady, like, doing import, like, the Siri. But anyway, I was doing my set in my room, like, the night before, like, preparing it, and I got really frustrated, and that was, like, anxiety. Like, I was just, like, so fed up. And trying to like make this thing perfect and trying to do it what I had, but that basically deleted my whole what I did so far, which is maybe like an hour worth of work, and I just started over, and then just had fun with it, and I spent the next, I think it was 6 to 7 hours just putting it together, and it was the most flawless set I've ever played, the most fun I've ever had. So
Yeah.
it's all about fun.
Exactly. Well, and it's crazy when you start to look at it like that too. Like, you know, we're trying to do a lot on the social media front, right? Like, you know, like we're putting out a lot of content. We're doing the podcast. Like, there are some people who I won't name, but like there's people who have told me that they think it's dumb and they think that it's not worth my time. You know, some people have like said that. It's like, you know what, man? It's like I'm having fun with the art that I'm making. I'm having fun with the content that I'm doing, right? The stuff that we're doing with the Inducive, with the Joy, any of that stuff, with the podcast, doing all this different stuff, reaching all these different areas, right? And like, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying it, and we're slowly growing, and that's all that matters. If you're enjoying it, and it's so easy to get caught up into what I have to do. What do I have to do? What do I have to get to? What place do I have to be at? You know, I want the crowd to react like this. I want my audience to react like this. I want my engagement to be like this. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, you just got to put out. You just got to do something that's authentic to you, that you enjoy, and that's. That shows, and then people like it.
That's what people like, I think. I think people like the authenticism. I think people like the raw, like, they like artists for a certain reason because they are the way they are, and they enjoy what they do the certain way that they do it. And so I feel like that's why, like, I don't know, I feel like that's just why, like, people enjoy watching other people have fun, and then they have fun collectively, I think.
Exactly.
In general.
If, like, you go up there, you fucking hate the entire time because you're fucking like stressed out, and you didn't enjoy making your set, or you didn't enjoy practicing, or you didn't enjoy the podcast, or you didn't enjoy. Everyone's gonna see that, and then it's gonna be weird, and no one's gonna.
Yeah, it gets awkward.
Like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's everywhere in the crowd too.
And that's with the podcast comment too. It's like waste of time. I always believed, as a firm believer, as if my dad always said I was wasting my time playing games, video games, or whatever. Like, I don't know. If I'm just like enjoying my time that I have, I don't think it's being wasted. So if one person listens to this, if 100,000 listen to it, I'm having fun recording, using my microphones I bought and my shit, and just having fun talking.
That's right. And like, at the end of the day, man, it's about trying to provide value to the people that might watch it. Dude, we've been having 20 views on each podcast, but like, people have enjoyed it. Like, the people I've talked to so far, like, hey, this is mildly entertaining stuff. It's not like, dude, you guys are fucking dumb, right? Like. Like, I mean,
what kind of weed you
What
smoke?
kind of weed you like?
You know, we do shout out the weed we smoke during the podcast.
yes,
We have homegrown.
but yeah, I don't know, like that's my whole thing, man. It's like, who's anyone to tell you what the right way to do your job is?
Man, life is about being happy.
Exactly.
It's a box of chocolates, man.
It's
Yeah.
about
Goddamn right.
chocolates.
But yeah, it's like this is my last little soapbox on this. But it's like, if you're going at the career that you want, and you're doing it the way that you want to, and you're seeing progress, and you can see the big picture 10, 20 years from now, and you have that rough idea in your head, and you're moving towards that, fuck what anybody else says. It just doesn't matter.
Preach.
You know, like, if you're happy doing what you're doing and you're getting some success, you know, fuck everybody else.
Well, yeah, that's why I listened to metal growing up. That was the main message of all the music I listened to, was fuck everyone else.
Truth, man.
It's on a shirt. It says, fuck everyone, I think. I don't know. Yeah. I also wanted to ask you about, Mr. Vries, about what you don't do, because you literally do everything.
What I don't do?
What don't you do? What aren't you good at?
Or things you wish you would pick up.
Oh,
do.
I don't play any musical instrument
You
whatsoever.
sing.
Well, yeah, that doesn't really count.
You can totally sing. She low-key has a beautiful lower jazz voice. It's like,
I think you told me that it was like I don't even know.
I've always liked it. You never sing it, though. You're all shy about it.
That's what happens when you have an opera singer for mom.
Yeah, her mom
She
is a
outshines.
worldwide opera, I don't know, nationwide opera singer. Yeah, so just so people don't know, you can fly a plane. You're a photographer. You can edit pictures. Now you're learning code and web design.
Oh yeah.
I gave you a little music production lesson. You picked that up. What else? Traveler, like scientists, because you're doing research. You're technically a scientist.
I'm a scientist now.
A bartender.
Pretty shitty one, but
A bathroom attendant.
There's no such thing as a shitty bar.
here's the alcohol.
Trust me,
Here's a
I've
shot.
been one.
Yeah. Dancer, of course. I don't know, your car driving skills aren't the best, but
Oh,
Oh damn, it's coming out.
I love my car driving skills. Are fast and efficient,
straightforward,
straightforward.
weavy.
They're not weavy.
Just kidding. Only when semis are around.
Oh,
She survived a semi crash.
No, Martin, that's
2 months
fucking
ago.
crazy.
Oh yeah, that was wild. That was crazy.
You ever been sideswiped by a semi going 80? Now you
I
can
was
raise
going
your
like
hand.
84. But
I had a semi rip. I was okay. I was I probably shouldn't say this. I'll cut that part out. I was driving down Spear, and I was driving to school, and a semi started to go over into my lane and ripped my mirror off.
Oh.
And I freaked the fuck out.
That shit's scary. When they get so close, that's what happened to me. Was like all of a sudden I was like listening. I think I was like I'd just like gotten off the phone with Mark, and I was like switching a song, and then I was like just driving like a normal Bailey, like going back to school,
Like a normal Bailey.
like a normal Bailey, and this semi like all of a sudden I'm passing him in the left lane, and he just like completely sideswipes me. His wheel got caught in the side of my car and like shredded it and like shoved me off the road, and like I ended up like flipped over on one side, and then it like flopped down, and I like got out and
A
puked.
lot of flipping and flopping.
It was
That's
a lot.
so
But
ridiculous.
I did puke. I didn't tell you about that. I was
No,
like,
really?
I was like crying. Yeah, I called you
Was it
afterwards.
from nerves you're puking, or
I
just from
think-
being rattled up?
I think it was like both, like being rattled up, and then also like being like, holy fuck,
Or was it like the
I'm not
worst day ever?
dead.
What do I do?
Yeah.
It was the worst day ever. You get hit by a semi, and then like you immediately get the flu and you puke.
Oh, yeah, literally. It was weird too, because I remember I was like, the next day I had to deliver a wedding cake for an event that was like an encampment, which is like 3 hours away from where I live. And all I was worried about was like, how the fuck am I supposed to get this wedding cake to this wedding? Like after being in a semi accident. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm glad we got you on here. Speaking of that little place, we got you on here before you're a famous TV
Oh,
actress.
yeah?
You're a reality
man.
TV star.
Wait,
upcoming.
what?
Yeah. So that should be cool. Hopefully it'll
This
commence
is your time to pitch this.
this summer. I don't really.
summer,
Yeah,
YUNGB.
this summer, YUNGB embarks on a journey. I was asked to be a part of a series for Bravo TV.
Fuck.
Yeah, and I honestly don't really know what it entails.
Can you be talking about this?
I can't really. Like, I don't really know the details, but like it's in my emails, and like everybody knows, like it's in the cyberspace of web.
knows.
Everybody knows it's in the cyberspace of worlds. But it's gonna be this TV show about a quaint little ranch and encampment, and I guess just like I think they're just trying to make a reality TV show about how like this ranch functions. They bring like weddings in, they bring like famous celebrities in and do crazy stuff and have them. It's like a retreat for people, for
That's
businesses
crazy.
and stuff. And I think it's just like a reality TV show about how it works. So that's about all I know.
That's so wild. That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Next up is MTV Cribs. You know,
Yeah, right.
from
Yes. Here's the mercantile.
We should do it. We should do a fake Cribs. You know, like
We totally are.
Can you edit that?
A fake
If
cribs.
we filmed a fake Cribs of our house for Facebook.
Bro, just like
Yeah.
puffy jackets and sunglasses.
Just like
Puffy
with like this
jackets.
fridge, you know, we got egg whites,
We got
Bro,
bagels.
we got egg
It's
whites and
Studio
berries.
One out here, and it's like has like the glitch like on the side where like glitches out, and it's like bathroom, like 4-bedroom. You know, it was just like 1 bedroom,
Yes.
2-bathroom. What's it? Strictly Primal Studios.
Yeah.
And
Strictly
then Joey
Prime
walks out and it
Studios.
turns into The Bachelor. It says, this Bachelor.
guys.
Roses fall at your feet.
Yes. Like, hello, everybody.
Nathan,
Welcome
that
to the
shit.
pad.
Yes. Well, like, get some, like, fake, like, girls in here. Yeah, he just has girls over here all the time.
Girl bitches. You
On-
can't say
yeah.
girls. I have
You can't say
bitches.
girls.
We have a lot of
Respect.
female dogs always here. We can
Always.
pet them.
But,
They
like,
just
actual
roam.
dogs,
And
though.
peanut butter.
Like real dogs.
Mhm.
That's wild.
It's like Snoop Dogg's house. You go in and there's just a lot of dogs and bitches
Yeah.
Mike's comment.
That's
and
crazy.
weed.
And weed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, shout out Mike Magic for
Coming up
being
with.
Mike Magic.
For being Mike Magic. Shout
I'll
out.
shout out Do Twins,
Yeah.
but
Coolest chicks ever.
yeah,
Yin Yang
Officially.
I can't say. I don't. Yeah, they're dating people that are cool and they're cool themselves. So
Oh, cool.
good
Yeah.
for them.
Word. Good. Glad.
Glad. Much glad.
It's like the thing. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Your sister sent me. I was really drunk at your show. At
Whoa,
the
whoa,
opening
whoa,
set.
whoa! My sister sent in dick pics again.
No, oh my god. No, but she was like, yeah, I got this weird like email today from like BuzzFeed, like casting for this like dating show, and I was like, Amanda, send me that. I'm gonna apply for it. I was like,
You should. Oh
No.
my god.
no
Ja,
way.
Joey and you out here. I don't know.
Yeah, like everyone's
curtain
fucking
number
stupid
3?
here. Let me see what
You'd be
I'd
brilliant,
Do you guys
Joey.
ever watch the show Next
Crush
on
it.
MTV?
No.
This might be before
Who?
you guys watch TV.
I'm your age.
I know, but my sister watched it, so I was just like,
okay.
"Ooh, what's this?" Like, I wasn't into it myself, but I always. It's a show called Next on
Was it a dating
MTV.
show?
It was a dating show. It was
Totally
so
seen it.
full stage, yeah.
For
and
sure.
It's like a bus, and like all these dumb girls or dumb dudes. Either way, it's like
Totally seen it.
whoever the fuck the contestants are just retarded, and they're just like. And it's always 2 real facts and then 1 like silly fact. And I think Gino Tosh did a bit on this, but it was just something like, I'm Deborah. I have brown hair. I like long walks on the I like long walks on the beach, and bananas are my favorite color. And it's just like, what? And they would these terrible candidates would hook up with these other terrible people, and it was just a terrible show.
That's how Darwinism doesn't get done.
What is that? Does that even exist?
Survival of the fittest, bro. That's what
Evolution isn't
happens.
real, dude. We're all from a rib of a bitch.
Oh my god, dude. No, we're off. Hey, listen.
And I'm referring to Adam.
It came from Adam's rib, okay?
Yeah,
I
the
used to be
bitch.
very religious. I understand these things.
You
Yeah,
used to be
you're
very
transformed.
religious?
I read the entire Bible. when I
Oh
was-
wow.
Good
I even
book?
went to I went
I'm
to
not
Catholic
really into
school.
fiction.
Oh my god. No, yeah, I used to when I was in high school, starting actually in 7th grade. I started going to a youth group, and I went out. It was a Heartland Christian Center in Valparaiso, Indiana. And I went, and then I started playing guitar there, and that's cheers, and that's how I started playing guitar. And I played live 3 times a week on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I got to organize the group, and I got to pick out the songs, and I got to do my own arrangements of the songs, and I did everything, and they did pay me. And, yeah, all this stuff. And that's how I got all of my experience playing guitar for when I went to college.
Are you saying?
Thank God
right
for
now,
youth group.
Are you
Yeah, right.
saying that Jesus Christ Himself is the reason you play music?
You're a
Well,
musician
not
because
quite
of
that
Jesus.
far.
Jesus
But
is
if-
the only reason.
That I play this
You
musical
like music.
instrument.
If I hadn't, I actually have a really weird story about some visions and stuff that happened, which I believe is kind of like a DMT trip. But
Interested?
yeah, do you guys want to hear? Do you guys want to go into that? You guys wanna
But
hear
are you going to
Sorry.
defend the fact that Jesus got you into music?
No.
That's the truth.
The youth group did. Whatever higher powers out there, I'm sure has something. So I was at church camp, right? So you guys know that dimethyltryptamine can be released in your brain through dying, dreaming, exogenous consumption, and meditation.
What was that last one?
Exogenous consumption. So
that
if you
mean?
like smoke it.
Okay.
And then also meditation too. If you go very deep into a meditative state, dimethyltryptamine can be released into your brain. You can have a crazy DMT trip. So,
I like that.
this might offend some people, but we're gonna talk about it. So I was at youth group. We were doing worship, right? Worship's when we play songs.
Worship?
Worship. And you
Or
worship.
worship?
Oh,
Worship,
worship.
yeah.
I thought I heard warship, which is also ironic.
I can't
But,
talk.
yeah.
But yeah, so
Worship.
we were, you basically raise your hands and you close your eyes and you pray and you sing and you cry and all this crazy stuff to God, right? And I remember closing my eyes and then the blood. You know when you close your eyes and it's black, right?
You see colors.
No, it just broke.
Oh.
It broke and I was somewhere else. And I was somewhere else. And I was inside the floor. And I was looking up and I saw this being, this thing, right? And there are all these other beings around. The being in front of us was giant, enormous, like 20 feet high, and proportionately wide.
Like a human figure, or just
Yes, but like enormous.
Okay, but it still was like.
Giant.
It was like made of light. It was really, really weird.
But was it like arms,
Like a little
shoulders,
ball
head?
of light.
I don't know that much about it. I just remember it was,
Okay.
And then there were all these other beings around it worshiping this being. And I audibly heard the words, "Whatever you think you should be doing, run towards that." And then I opened my eyes and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Damn.
And the week after, I decided I was done with religion, and I didn't leave the church. I still stayed because I had some things that I had to do, and I still had some responsibilities. And as soon as I came to Colorado, it changed my entire life. I got very into holistic things and meditation and stuff like that, and now I am now I'm here. But that was basically the turning point in coming to Colorado. Was I saw that, and I was like, I'm doing music. That's it. That's what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
That's crazy.
Oh.
It was crazy. It was nuts. But I suspect it was something like a DMT trip.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've
Makes
always-
my heart melt.
It was crazy.
Aw.
I've always wondered with like people seeing beings if they see them as human figures because that's the only thing we know.
We can visualize.
Even
yeah.
like monsters in movies, they're usually like human or animal like based. But if you think about the variations in like the randomness of the universe, something could literally look like something we've never even imagined. So a being, if you're seeing something real that is from somewhere else and you don't see a shape, I think your brain will automatically kind of like form
like humanize
a
it.
humanized thing. Whereas you might be seeing like shapes that you've never, like people on DMT, like they can't describe what they've seen. It's like shapes beyond your imagining. Because even if you're thinking like, oh, it was like a speaker, but it was alive, but it's still like a circle with something you like associate with. Imagine seeing something you've never even imagined.
Well, that's what it was. Like I can't describe what I saw. Basically, past that, I know I was in a dark room, and there was things that resembled pews. I was like in the room I was in, but I was somewhere else. I was in a different reality. I wasn't where I was. I've never had anything like that happen ever again.
It's like
Until you smoke again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll like catch up with you. Like, what have you been doing? Are you doing what you wanted to?
I don't know. See,
be
that's my
crazy.
thing. I'm definitely very, very curious. But yeah, crazy.
You just did. I actually introduced. I'm a bad influence, but I introduced Bailey to the idea of consistently smoking marijuana and shrooms. Not consistently, but we did shrooms together in Amsterdam because it's legal there.
Truffles.
Same thing. Chemically.
They taste like pistachios.
We have to be specific here, Mark.
Yeah. But anyway, we saw everything as if it was a cartoon world, and so ever since meeting me, which has been only like half a year, how have I changed your view of drugs?
My view of drugs?
What did you think about them? Because I know you did your fair of drugs before, but more like party drugs and like stay awake longer drugs, more so than I'm just gonna watch this movie or create.
Oh, it's like a completely different world. It's great. I feel like definitely more satisfied and like happy as a person because I have like different perspectives, and I think life is all about having like various perspectives. Especially like with music and with art and with dance, like I don't know, it sounds weird, but like smoking and then like looking at like a ballet that I've always admired, or like like working on like a dance piece or listening to like music that I don't know, like the Troy Boy, like it was insane. It was like a whole different experience, and like it's all about perspective. And I think that like it's not something that like makes me like capable of functioning every day, but it's something that like builds to my character and builds like who I am if it's like an occasional kind of thing.
I think it's interesting when people, because I grew up smoking weed since like 14. It was like not all the time, but it was in my life. So like do like, oh, I want to try a Twinkie high. I'm gonna do that. But then you see like adults or like older people who have never done it, and like it must be crazy because for 30 years, more than I've lived, more than let's say you're 35 years old and you've never smoked weed, which I know some people that do that, and like I've never done like drugs or anything, which is good. It's good, healthy stuff. But if you're like your favorite album, let's say like is like a Troy Boy song or whatever, it's like an album you grew up listening to, like you said. And then you get high and listen to it, and you hear something completely new. That's got to change.
It's a different experience, man.
Yeah.
It's a totally different experience. I think that marijuana has so many positive impacts. I've been smoking a lot of pot recently. I think right now, the past couple weeks, there's a reason for it. But I feel like I'm the most driven I've ever been. I feel like I made the most stuff that I've ever done. I've been smoking weed every single day. Now, there's other reasons that probably, some things have happened in life. But anyway, it's like, I don't know. It makes me like. Have you guys ever smoked pot and just been super, super grateful? Like just like been like, oh fuck, life's beautiful.
Yeah.
I usually get sad though because I'm like, well, I need to go like say hi to my parents. I need to like do this because like this is so great. Then like you get shameful of yourself.
I was just calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell my mom's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, I just smoked a fat joint. I'm high as fuck.
And I love you so much.
Yeah, just so you know.
Yeah. I remember, like, my mom, like, just recently, actually, like, came in, like, I don't know. So I've never, like, smoked around my mom or anything like that. And I was in Jackson this past week. And I remember, like, I was in this, like, beautiful, it was gorgeous. Like, Jackson Hole, Wyoming is amazing. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been. And I remember, like, going outside, I, like, called Mark after his, like, show, and then I, like, smoked, and I remember, like, going to bed, and I was sleeping in the same bed as my mom, because we were, like, sharing a room, and, like, being high, I remember she was, like, we woke up the next morning, and she was like, did you smoke last night? I was like, yeah, like, I did, and she was like, I want you to know that I think that stuff changes you as a person. And it was one of those things, like, hit me really hard where I was like, well, yeah, it does. I don't think it changes you as a person. It changes, like, your perspectives on life. And I think it builds you as a person. I don't think it dumbs you down. I don't think it makes you less productive. I think, if anything, like you said, like, you feel more productive because you have different perspectives on things.
Well, and it all depends on the person, too. Like, if you're lazy, then you're going to be lazy. And there's definitely such a thing as too much pot, too. Like 100%. Like, there's been times I was smoking. Yeah. When I was a freshman in college, I would dab every day, probably like 4 or 5 times a day. I didn't play guitar. I didn't do anything. So like I'm a testament to that. But I think if it's used responsibly, it's used in the right way, it's an incredibly positive thing on your life. Now there are some people that shouldn't, right? If you have personality disorder, stuff like that, it's recommended that you not, right? But I think at the end of the day that for the majority of people in the world, I feel like marijuana has an incredibly positive thing that it can put. Not to mention the fact that it can mask pain and has enormous pain-killing properties, right? Which then we don't have to prescribe all these opiates to people and just ruin their lives. Like you never hear. I mean, you might, but you almost never hear about someone's kids getting taken away from them because they smoke weed.
Yeah.
It's usually more, and weed. I think it'll sometimes also like change your perspective immediately from negative to positive.
Yeah. Or
the other way sometimes because of anxiety. But I remember one time I was like super frustrated with. I don't know what it was. It was something, but like something like creative or something, and I literally just went from being like fuck everything to like there's so much opportunity to like what I can do and create. I don't know. It's just a weird like.
It's like a weird eye opener.
Difference. Yeah.
It also makes you super introspective too. Like I've like thought things and like said things to myself when I was like mad at someone that like like aren't okay, and then I get high and I'm just like, fuck. Like I see what they're thinking.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. You're mad at a situation and then you see it from someone else's view, and like I think weed helps put you in situations that I don't know.
Makes you
You'd be
more
in different
empathetic.
shoes.
More
yeah.
empathetic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm like. My
Totally.
joke I love from like people is like bomb these war torn countries with weed, and they're like, I don't want to kill myself now. It sounds like shitty, and I don't know. It's crazy. Weed is very positive in my life.
So nuts. Well, like it's a plant too, you know. Like it's not like the synthetic drug.
Yeah, it's not like chemicals,
And
putting
then-
chemicals in your body.
Then mushrooms, which we did for the first time.
That was
That's
wild.
That's just wild. That's just like a whole different level of being okay with everything.
Yeah.
But then again, it can go very badly. But I think my experience was perfect, and I heard music for the first time in my life again, which was crazy. Because as being a producer and music person, I always hear different parts of songs, snare, kick, drum,
everything.
vocal, reverb, delay. Oh, you show me a Katy Perry song, I don't know what the fuck word. I don't hear one word. I just hear like that compression on her voice.
You start deconstructing everything.
But I heard this. I listened to this new Avicii song "Under a Tree" in my headphones, and it was like perfectly produced, just the happiest song. And I was just like, I
You
just
heard like
this,
everything, right?
I just heard everything as a whole, just like room of music that all work together.
That's a really weird thing. 'Cause, like, I'll show people music, or say, you know, like I remember, you know, like a few years ago, you know, I would like go out on dates with like girls and stuff, and we'd get super drunk or high or like whatever, right? And like end up, you know, being ridiculous and show them all the music. They're like, oh, check this out, this song's so good. Oh my god. And you get super into it, and they're like, it's just a song, and like they don't like other people don't hear that
It's like another
complexity.
level. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you can hear everything. You can hear the notes reacting on top of notes. You can hear all of this stuff, and other people just can't. And that's not, you know, like a bad thing, right? It's just it's a different experience. When you've transcribed Charlie Parker, or you've deconstructed a Katy Perry song, you've deconstructed the production of, you know, Skrillex or like whatever, right? When you get to that point where you know exactly what's going on, you know exactly what's happening in front of you, it's a completely different experience, because you appreciate it so much more because you know exactly what's happening.
So on that, in school, you like take classes on stuff you like, and I went into school maybe thinking I want audio for movies, and having this experience with music, and it's not like I wouldn't say it's ruined, but it's completely changed. I don't enjoy music the same way I used to, or like I don't even remember the last time I did. In that like just consumer, like, this is a song, I like it. I don't like this, I don't know why. But think about like movies or like paintings or like what Luke does with this Photoshop. So when I was in that class of movie sound, I was really liking it. It was fun, and I could appreciate how much work it was. But I was watching movies, and it was ruining movies. And so I couldn't go home and watch a movie and be like, "Oh, that's so good." I would be like, "Oh, that footstep's cool. I know how they actually make zombie crushing sounds. They do it with watermelon." And you'd hear that, and you'd be like, you hear this thing called ADR when they put in dialogue after the movie, and to this day I can hear when it's like ADR versus like on set audio dialogue. And it's just like a weird thing. So like I stopped. I was like, I'm not gonna go into this because I'll ruin movies and music, and I don't know what. And so then I learned a little bit more about Photoshop. Then now I can see some Photoshop stuff. I don't know. So the more you learn about stuff, the more you see everything's kind of constructed.
Truth.
And it kind of fucks shit up as far as art goes.
I can like hear like stuff on like songs now, like production wise, and I'm like, okay, yeah. like again, oh, they layered that snare. Oh my god, like it's like little stuff like that, like for me, right? But like, or like I hear that compressor, or oh, they sidechained. You know, like I can hear all that stuff.
I think I left video games out. I've never looked into how video game sound is made. I've never looked into how they're made at all.
Yeah.
Because I love being in the dark with that. I don't know how the fuck I can play with my friends over online, and we hear the same thing at the same time. I don't care. I just want to enjoy it as someone who enjoys it. Whereas like a video game developer is going to be like, well, the new Call of Duty, the lighting graphics was a little off over here. The degree angle of
fuck that.
I'm like, I just want to fucking shoot people online if I want to do that. If I want to deconstruct a song, I'll do that. I'll pick my one. Yeah. Movies I can kind of do, but not nearly to the point where it ruins them.
But I think it doesn't. See, here's my thing on that though. I think it doesn't ruin it. I think it just gives you a greater perspective in on what's happening.
Depends what you're looking for in it. I just want to be entertained in a movie, whereas music, I don't want to be entertained. I want to learn.
Yeah. That's that's.
I don't really listen to music to like be entertained that much unless it's like an artist I really love. Like Skrillex released a new song today. I listened to it once. I was entertained. But then I listened to it again. how the
figure
fuck
out
was
what's
this
going
mixed
on.
down really well.
Yeah.
Like the sub was like perfect. So I was like, how is that?
I was listening to Ed Sheeran today, and I was like, oh fuck those lyrics, man. Oh my god, it's
now,
so
yeah,
good.
now you know a little bit more about mixing. Listen to that fucking X album again.
I did. No, as I did today, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay.
the drums, like everything. We were watching his live studio sessions. Where he has like an orange mic for beatboxing, and then like a condenser for his other stuff. All one take, 11-minute versions of his own songs. Like that song, I don't need you, you need me. You mashed it up with like a reggae song. It's like my eyes are red, I need you, baby, you don't need me. My eyes.
No,
are
that's
red.
part of the song.
Really?
Think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's 11 minutes, and it was beautiful.
This guy, no, yeah, he has some crazy songs. Ed Sheeran's such a. What's so cool about him is he was homeless,
Yeah.
and he slept on Jamie Foxx's floor. And then he went to a showcase that Jimmy Foxx was putting on and played for this room. And Jimmy Foxx was like, dude, you got a ukulele. Like, that's not okay.
You got a
Like,
ukulele.
what are you doing, dude? And he went in, he just crushed it, though. And everyone was, like, freaking out. And Ed Sheeran's one of those guys that he played so many shows. And it's like, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier when, like, people say, okay, this isn't working for you. Like, this is dumb. He did that for, what, like 3-4 years? Played on the streets. On the streets.
How did he get into writing for other people, though?
He just made the connections. Yeah, he went out to L.A. and he was writing for some of his friends, out in wherever I don't know where he's from.
I think he's Britain.
I think so,
British.
something like that. But
Somewhere that's not America.
America. But yeah, he started writing for some of his friends. Then he went to L.A. and met Jamie Foxx and met that crew. And then, if you're a good writer, dude, you can get a writing gig. You know.
Yeah, but then he broke away, obviously, and did his own stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like Ed Sheeran and
I think
Eminem just write their own shit verbatim. Like, no
Yeah.
one else fucks.
I think he was writing for some rappers in Europe, and I think that's how he got started. He was also writing for some of his other friends too.
That'd make a lot of sense. His rapping stuff
Yeah,
is awesome.
I think that's where "You Don't Need Me, I Need You" came from, because I could be completely wrong, but I think that there was something that happened where basically this guy was like said this shit was his, and Ed Sheeran was like, no, I wrote all of that. You didn't write any of that. You need me to write this stuff, and if I'm not here, you can't do it.
And he comes up with a brilliant 4-minute song with I don't know how many words.
Fantastic.
In it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Shout out Ed Sheeran.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna talk to you some more, blonde chick.
Blonde lady.
And we got way off topic there.
That was brilliant. That was nice.
Yeah, we don't have too much time left, so got anything to say?
Don't put me on the end spot.
She just showed me a
Put
text
Beta
she
on
vented
blast.
to someone she just no longer likes, and you don't want to be on her bad side. It's
Oh.
intense.
Yeah.
There's like no cursing. There's like maybe 2 cursing words, and
No,
like,
there's only one. There was only one.
One curse word, one fuck, and it stings. You know, a lot of people are like dumb when they like call it like I fucking hate you, fucking piece of shit. It's like I don't know if you intellectually deteriorate someone's like well-being like you did, and then say fucking once, it hurts. The
I think
very
it was- I
end,
think
like
it was-
don't fucking do this again.
Oh,
You-
yeah.
You got to make him feel worthless.
Yeah.
She did.
That
I
was a
totally
brutal
get
shit.
you.
I felt brutal, but at the same time, it's the best thing I've probably done the past 48 hours.
Fantastic. Yes. Oh, Bailey. So I was talking to Mark, and I was like,
Oh, God.
So I'm going to start. This is ridiculous. So I'm going to start parroting all of the pictures that you post on Instagram, but it's going to be me and like the same like thing.
I really want you to do the one where like what's the underwear brand?
Oh, Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein.
Yeah,
She has a
yeah,
Calvin
yeah.
Klein one. She has Calvin Klein bra and underwear just like in a picture. And I just want you to be in front of a mirror with the same
The same
and the
pose.
same
Yeah.
caption.
No, yeah,
too.
no, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
be
yeah.
beautiful. I think it was something
Perfect.
about like being your own
Being
body.
beautiful inside and
Just
out.
like Joey's very hairy. And just
Exactly.
I think you need to like get on your knees. You gotta like stick out your like.
Oh, I'm
boobs
gonna
a
go
little
full.
bit.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking full.
You gotta like
go
get the
full
like.
fucking forward.
Yeah, you gotta get like the photo shoot giggles, so you're like all kind of happy when
Yes.
you're doing it.
yeah, and then there's a new one where like you have a wet T-shirt on.
Oh,
With
with,
her
my
hair-
little stars.
Yeah, and
That's actually the I was like, okay.
yeah.
I'm
So
like,
yeah,
I'm
you gotta put
gonna
like a wet
I'm
tank
gonna
top
do
on.
this.
and,
Well,
like,
first you have to dip yourself in a fucking freezing cold Jackson Hole lake.
I take a ice cold shower every morning.
Oh yeah, it
I
like gets
wake
your
up.
blood circulating and
I
everything.
just read an
fucking
article
feel
about how good
fantastic.
that was.
It's good for you.
Yeah, you should do it, and it also makes you. It improves you, bro. It's bad for like 20 seconds.
A warm shower is the only reason I get out of bed in the morning.
No, dude, a cold shower. I can't take a warm shower now. I've been doing it for
Cold
2
showers
months.
are pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic.
But anyways,
You
you have
athletic
to
fucks.
you have to dip.
going to.
You have to dip as a sexy model Joey dipping in a
Yes.
in a lake.
Look
Come
like
on,
you just
Kira,
got
come on,
punched in the
come
chin.
on, Kira.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. It like I got like sideswiped by a salmon.
Then the
in
other
my
one's
face.
like, the other one's like,
Salmon.
where am I?
Salmon.
Model faces are funny. I always make fun of her because she's a model. So she has model faces. Either like you're like fucking pissed, you look hungry, or you don't know where the fuck you are. Like the last one you said, it's like I think most people like look for like a nipple slip in those kind of pictures, but like your actual face is just like, where am I? What is this? I don't know. It's so hilarious. And like a lot of them are like, I'm starving, feed me, and like super angry and like stern, but they think it's sexy. Some people think
Model
it's sexy.
biz is weird.
But I like smiles. I think a good smiling girl.
Yeah, I looked like I didn't have a smile, but I remember like the big poster I have in New York is like, don't fuck with me. But it's like cool. It's not like, oh, I'm starving, I'm hungry.
Yeah, you
I'm
look. Well, that's
sad.
like fierce. That's different.
Yeah,
That's like
that's
Blue Steer.
fierce. There you go.
There's fierce. There's like fuck you. I don't know.
There's, like,
as a
I'm
model
hungry,
myself,
feed me.
I just model my ankles because I'm a sock model. But I always try to laugh when I'm doing it.
I'm a sock model. Yeah, I do my hands. It's like
You do have nice
calluses.
hands, like
Eh.
smooth.
They're very
Hands.
calloused over, completely.
Your hands don't ever touch me with those hands.
I always do when you're sleeping.
Oh,
Gross. Anyway,
we got like a love triangle going on.
Yeah, we do.
you gonna plug something or what? What do you got going on?
Plug?
Yeah, let's plug some shit.
You're in school.
Any exciting stuff coming up?
Ooh,
Exciting things?
I'm hosting a film festival.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
it. That was it.
There
yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
Talk
Tell-
about that.
Yeah,
It'll
tell
be
the
cool.
audience
You should
about that.
whoever's listening should definitely come.
What's
So-
the link?
I haven't even set up yet.
https://
97.6.
just click on the
4-7.
audio.
8675309.
But it's gonna be 2 days, and it's gonna be like a film and arts and music and tech collaboration. So we'll have like virtual reality, augmented reality, like exhibits. We'll have music. Hopefully, Mr. Port and Mr. Stoic.
There we go.
Mr. Stoic will come and play. We'll have one screening on the first day. We'll have food, activities, music, everything. And the second day will be like a full screening of like the top 3 films that were nominated and were also won the Jackson Hole Wildlife Film Festival. And we'll also have live music, and it'll be this whole fun event for the University of Wyoming.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can Joey play, or is it only a DJ?
Yeah, we need musical artists throughout the day. So
Boom, it's
yes,
done.
we need Joey. We need like diversity in artists.
Where can people get more information about this?
Well, hopefully, I'll set up probably a Facebook page, and it'll be something along the lines of like Jackson Hole Wildlife Film Festival hosted at University of Wyoming.
Do you
Fantastic.
mean an event or a page?
It'll be a page.
A whole page where you can like it and stuff?
Yeah, and you can comment and make suggestions for the day because it probably won't be until like spring. So
Okay.
Oh, boom.
I would make a page for whatever you're gonna be, your entity. Let's say it's YUNGB Production. Right, whatever. I'm
Yes.
just joking,
Very
but
official.
Let's say whatever your
Young
thing
Burr.
is, make a page for that, and then under that page, make
do
an event for this.
Oh, there you go.
I
Okay,
think that's more.
that's smart.
Have your public figure.
Because then if you
Public
get 2,000 people to come, then you might get 1,000 likes. On your thing.
I've got 2,000 people to come once.
John Mayer
All
does
in
every
one
night.
night?
Yeah, true. Have you ever seen 2,000 girls get wet, get wet at the same time? Fathers, be good to your daughters.
Oh my god.
John Mayer's a fucking genius.
What do you got going on, Joey?
I
know you're working on some tunes.
I'm playing a game. Yeah, I'm working on some tunes. I'm almost done with one that I'm gonna release soon. Back on the Instagram game soon too. I just posted a video the other day.
Which was very
some
nice.
Content. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JoeyNE. That's JoeyNE. I post some funny shit. I post some cool guitar videos and stuff like that. Follow Inducive Music at Inducive Music. That there be links in the description below. Of course, this is Inducive Presents.
Where's Duncan?
Yeah,
know.
Duncan.
Duncan is oversleeping inside my jacket because that's what he does now.
Oh, what if you
He
don't wake
loves
him
it.
up? He needs his beauty
Yeah.
sleep for his cat activities for the evening.
He's my favorite person. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Really, just inducive stuff. That's kind of what I'm focused on. But slowly get some Joey and a lot of stuff out there too.
Awesome.
So
Let's do it.
What about you, Mr.
How about you, Import?
Mr. Import?
Oh, I just remixed Cardi B. You ain't fuck with me. That'll be out this week. Actually, probably the same day as this or the next day, depending on how lazy I feel this weekend.
Monday or
And
Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday. I play Thursday for Atlians, one of my favorite dope-ass trap artists. And that's about it. Otherwise, I'm just cooped up trying to finish a song I started in July about bombs. It's relevant. It's called War Nearing, but the vocal chop is warning. It's a little play on words there.
Warning.
Warning.
It's like drum and bass meets rhythm.
Yeah, that song's
Very
really
cool.
fucking cool. So guys, go like Import. What is it? Is it at Import Audio on
Instagram, it's Import Music.
on Instagram? It's at Import Music.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter, it's
Import Audio.
Import
because,
We'll have all the stuff
whatever.
too.
But yeah, thanks for listening. YUNGB is our guest tonight. Bailey Vries. That's her.
That's me.
All right. Thanks for listening.
She
guys.
sounds harder than she is.
Oh damn! If you guys got this far, you're a fucking OG, and we love you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the podcast. Tell us who else you want on there. We want Luke Renault on next.
Happy
Watching tonight.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Monday.
Oh yeah.
Or
it's
whatever the
Monday.
fuck day you listen to this.
Yeah. Whenever. All right. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Duncan and Friends.
Bitch.